Hello, hello, hello.
With this camera and get my screen ready for you. This you might recognize if you're on Instagram, because I like to use Instagram. It's one of my favorite things to use. Gonna try to, hi Ash. I'm gonna try to see what you're saying, but I've got a new setup going on here, so I'll see how it works. I don't know, we'll see. Got two monitors going. I'm trying to be Miss Techie, so we'll see if it works. But hey, how are you guys? Second grade Skittles. I wish I knew your first name. Second grade Skittles. We're gonna go ahead today. Hi, how are you? So what we're going to do today is go ahead, I'm going to leave it on here for a second and give a few people a few minutes to join because I'm a little early, but you might have seen this, and my scope today is about motivating your readers through technology. And I think that using technology has been the key. I have struggling readers. I'm a reading specialist. And it's been the key to finding ways to motivate my kids to read. So hopefully it can help all kids love to read. And so today what we're going to do is just share one little snippet. If you notice, there's this little QR code here, and that's actually what we're going to talk about mostly, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to flip it. Oh, here, I want to show you this. Look at, in motivate, we have move. So we want to move our students to read, not just motivate them, but move them to read. We want to make sure that they're getting in that library, they're finding the right books, they're going to the bookstores, they're downloading on their Kindle, their iPads, you name it. We want them reading. So let's find ways to do it that aren't the old school ways like we did when we were kids. And let's see what we can come up with here. Okay, I'll flip the camera. Oh, yeah, I don't have to flip. I got it all set up a little weird here. Okay, so hi, my name is Jenny, and my store is called Link to Teach. And I have prepared for you a series called Raising Real Readers. Hi, Shiloh. So what we're going to do today is we're going to do episode 2. In episode 1, what you found out was that you need to get to know your kids. You need to get to know them as readers. I think we all get to know our kids as people, but getting to know them as readers is something totally different. So what we're going to do today is review that a little bit. I have on my site, linktoteach.com, a freebie that you can grab. I came up with an interview because I could not find reading interviews that fit my needs, and most of them had to do with what kind of food they liked and things like that, and I thought, I don't know that that pertains to them being a good reader or even liking reading or not liking reading. So I came up with my own. You can go to linktoteach.com and grab that. So it looks like this, but anyway, you can download it for free, and so that's something that you can start out with. Now once you get to know your readers, your students as readers, and what kind of things they do enjoy, because I'm telling you that's the key. If you can find out what they enjoy, you can find good books for them, and it's not hard at all. So I'm going to take you through the steps of how I find books for each of my kids. I teach grades K through 5 struggling readers, and believe me, I have to have this plethora of ideas of what good books are out there for all ages and all types of readers. So first things first, when you find books for your kids, how do you find those books for them? Any comments? How do you find a book that you think might meet your readers' needs? How do you encourage them to read? Where do you find these books? Hi, Kelsey. Where do you go? Do you go to your school library? Do you have this wonderful library built within your own classroom? Where do we find these books for our kids? That's the number one thing, is we have to find out where are we going to get them. I've done a lot of grant writing to get books in our library. You use Learn to Earn to track their reading patterns. That's cool. I'm going to have to look into that, Ash. I don't have anything like that, but I kind of get to know my kids on a personal level with that, and we have conversations every day about what they're reading and how it's going for them. So I've had the whole, hey, let's go to the library, let's peruse, let's look around. Hey, how about this? Do you like this? Do you like that? Well, guess what? Most kids don't know what they like, because if they're beginning readers, I'm talking like grades K through 8, I still consider them beginning readers because they haven't really found themselves. They haven't found like their reading identity. So I've gone to the library with them. I've had my librarian help me. I've gone to places like websites that help them pick out what kinds of things they like, adventure, this and that and everything. I've tried it all. And honestly, it was working, but it wasn't working the way I would like it to work. So I went ahead and I started thinking, Got to get them involved. How am I going to do it? Technology. That's what I'm going to do. Now think about this. How do you know what movie you want to see? Any comments? How do you know what movie you want to go see? People say, oh, I can't wait to see this movie. Well, how do you even know what's going on? How do you even know what's out there? Previews. You go see previews. They come up on TV all the time. Major motion movie producers, this is their big thing. The Epic app also. Awesome. Oh, like Netflix. Cool. Yeah, I've seen that. But the thing with this is that we love movie trailers. When we're sitting there before the show, boom, they keep popping up, and that gets us to come to the next show because we're like, oh, and do you notice they play like the same type of trailers that are in the same genre and the same idea of the one you're at? They're attracting you. So this is big business. It's big marketing. Well, guess what we're doing? We're marketing books to our kids. We're trying to find out what kind of books are going to fit their needs and get those books in their hands. Okay, so book trailers, just like movie trailers, book trailers. Hands up or a Y if you have used book trailers before in your classroom. I use book trailers because my kids like movies. They like watching. They like anything on the big screen, anything that can pull up on their iPad or their device. I'm serious. Movies catch kids. And they're, oh, I want to read this book because I saw the movie. So trust me, movies catch kids. And you know what? That's why they take really great movies and make them into, or really great books and make them into kids. So now, you can use the iMovie app, but I also have found some different apps that I can share with you later about how kids can make their own book trailers. Today I just wanted to show you how to find them. I mean, you don't have to make them, you just have to find them, so it's really quick. So I better go ahead and get started because I like to talk and I need to stop. All right, so going to the library didn't work for me. None of that, oh, I read this book when I was a kid. Didn't work for me, okay? And kids go, oh, my parents want me to read that book because they read it. Well, guess what? You're not your parent. You're somebody else. So how do I do this? Well, after my little interview and I find out the kinds of things that they like, then I start searching, and I want to show you a little bit about where I search. I actually have a site that I went to, and I found a place where you can search for books. Be patient with me here. I've got a couple things up. And here it is. Okay, now this site, I will put all this in my Link to Teach blog, so you don't have to write anything down. You can just go there and find it for free for nothing. Whatever, you can go find everything in its clickable links, so you don't have to even worry about writing them down. But this place, DAWCL, it's an acronym for Database of Award-Winning Children's Literature, okay? So if we go here, hold on, I forgot I wasn't showing you the screen. Okay, if you go to this database for children's literature, bear with me, I'm trying something new. I have this link in my screen, my linktoteach.com blog, but what I did was I went ahead and I went search up here, and when I went to the search, you can type in what kind of kid it is, how old they are, that kind of thing. What kind of awards are you looking for, fiction or nonfiction? So you can put all that into that database and it'll pump up some things. But I didn't even use that. I just found that tonight. I want to tell you what I did. I went on, now what are the popular books out there for kids? Newbery, especially middle grade readers, Newbery Award winners. In Illinois, we have one called Rebecca Caldwell. She was an author from Illinois, so that's huge in our state. So there are tons of state suggested books and award-winning books that kids vote on. And so, you know, what better to hear from than the kids themselves, whether they liked it or not. So I have that in my Link to Teach blog. Do you read a book before suggesting it? You know what I do? Sometimes I watch the trailer. Can't read them all. I have 30 kids, so and I try to get them all something they want. But I love to peruse it, go through it. You know how you get good at scanning to make sure it's gonna be okay. And then I go and look at reviews and things like that. Then I might suggest it and look it up. But you know, if you go with those award-winning books, you're pretty much secured that kids liked them, teachers liked them, librarians liked them, so they must have some good to them. So I kind of trust in a lot of that too. And then I love to put this on the kid. Oh my gosh, cannot wait to find out what this book is about. Could you read it for me? Could you talk to me about it every day? That would be fantastic. And they just like feel like they light up. They're like, yeah, I could do that for you. You know, like they're so important that they can do this for you. And you know, they're doing it for both of us actually. So go look up your state's award-winning or your country or whatever you're from. Look up your award-winning books and just search in Google. Now the other place you can look is Goodreads. Goodreads has some really good things on there. I Googled it this afternoon and found some. And it'll tell you, like I put in middle grade nonfiction books. And I came up with a ton. And so I'd go read the review, and then I'd watch the book trailer. Because you know what? Some of those companies, those publishers, put out their own book trailer, which are really good. But you know, I found kids do better book trailers than publishing companies. So I found a lot of them. Now let me show you how this works. All right, I am going to have to flip the camera. I have a couple books in front of me, and I'm going to show them to you. Here, I'll show it to you like this. This one's called The Candy Bomber. Now, I heard about this book. It's nonfiction, and actually it's a story of a pilot during the Holocaust who went and actually, or Berlin. He's from Berlin, and what he did was he felt sorry for the children during the war, so he illegally dropped candy to cheer up the children. Well, my actual town, not my district, does this thing. It's called On the Same Page. And the whole community is welcome to read this book and discuss it with the kids. But the cool thing is that they even had a candy drop from an airplane. They had veterans there to talk to them. They had all these different things. So the community has promoted reading too. But I want to show you how this works. I went ahead and I looked up WW2. I do too. I have kids who love it. I have nonfiction buffs everywhere, and I love that because I'm a nonfiction buff too. But you see how I have this little QR code down here? All right, I'm going to scan that. Now, you can get QR scanners readers from anything, Android-based or Apple-based. I have all Apple-based, which I'm obsessed with, but I'll go ahead and scan it. And what it does is it takes you to the book trailer. And then the kids can actually watch what's going on in there. And you can put a big screen or whatever. QR codes are amazing. I mean, it's like God's gift. So, music, it's awesome. I love it. My kids will sit for hours and watch these things and then go, I want to read it. And they make lists of what they want to read next. And then they're like, oh, did you see that one? Did you see that one? And they go on about that. Now I want to show you something. That was one that was made by a publisher, but I have one that was made by a publisher and then one of my students did it last year. This is actually a third grader. And have you ever heard of the story? It's kind of creepy, but Dow Bones. All right, award-winning. She did this one. It's so cute. But see how easy it is for kids in your class to do this?
Hi, my name is Rylan, and I read the book Doll Bones.
How much independent reading time?
This book won a Newbery Honor Award, and it was written by Holly Black.
Okay, so that's just the thing. I like them to pick award-winning books too and kind of talk about them. So she was so psyched and she did that, and I have my green screen set up, and I'll show you guys later how to do that because that's like ultimately fun. But anyway, what did you ask me, Ash? How much independent reading time? Well, I'll tell you what, since I'm a resource teacher and my kids come to me for 20 minutes at a time or 30 minutes at a time, I actually have it set up now where they come to me one 20-minute period and one 30-minute period. So I try to allow 20 minutes of that to be reading time. So sometimes they're reading books on level, sometimes they're reading books whatever they want books, sometimes they're reading books that we're doing together, it just depends. But I'm encouraging my teachers, the people in my building, to make sure that they're doing a drop everything and read time, at least 20 minutes, because a lot of them don't. We get busy in our day and we forget that some of the most powerful lessons can come from giving kids time to read, time to think, time to do things. We're like mandated by that clock. It's like Hitler up there telling us, get going, do this, do that, but we're forgetting that we're losing sight of what really needs to happen. So what I've done is I wanted to teach you how to do a little bit of QR coding. It's really simple. I'll show you in quick, easy steps. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and load this up. You can look at me for a second, and then I'm going to show you. If you go online, and I saw someone do this scope about how to do QR, you can just Google QR Reader. This is one that I like, and it's QR code generator. And all you do is you click on the URL option, and then you grab the URL. Now, where do I get my URLs? I go to YouTube. When you go to YouTube, you can find tons of book trailers. All you have to do is type in the name of the book and then book trailer, and boom, they pop up. There's tons of them, but beware. I would watch those book trailers first because I just spent hours watching book trailers so that I could pick right ones for you guys, because what I've done is I've put together, for middle grade readers, over 50 books in different genres. I have got anywhere from realistic fiction, I've got historical fiction, I've got fantasy fiction, and I've got nonfiction, which I love. 3 pages of nonfiction too. So I have just as much nonfiction as fiction for kids that might appeal to 3rd graders through 8th graders, I would say. So I didn't want to limit the grade because kids at grade levels read differently. So it could be the child that you're talking about, their reading level, not necessarily what grade they're in. And also you got to remember content. So I would watch the book trailers first yourself before suggesting it to the child. So you can do that. Go on Goodreads. Sometimes when there's not a book trailer, what I did, I'll see if I can find one. If I couldn't find a book trailer, that's when my kids loved it because they're like, well, I'm going to read that. Yes, it's on my blog. I'm going to read that and I'm going to do the very first book trailer. I'm like, you go for it. But right here I would say like book review. So I went to like Goodreads and I went to Amazon and I wanted them to hear a little snippet of what it was about. And so hello, thanks for joining. And all of it's for free. All of it's there for you. I love having people encourage kids to read, so I'm so excited about that. I love QR codes. I love technology and reading. It gets my kids going. So how amazing is that? Get them some Kindles. I mean, I saw that Kindle Fires were $50 at Christmas. Isn't that amazing? Write a grant for that and get, 3 or 4 of them in your classroom. Hi, Kim in Baltimore. Nice to meet you. So anything you missed, you can catch on the replay. I did want to show you all of that. I want to show you how to make the QR codes. That's how you do it. Now, do you guys know how to copy and paste? That's all that function is. I write the title down, and then what I do is I put the URL link from either the Amazon information, where it's just a book review, or Goodreads, and then what I do is pop it in here, and it makes this QR code that's perfect. It actually takes you right to that source. Then what I do is I just copy that. You can do that many different ways on your computer. On my Mac, I have to push Command, Control, Shift, 4. And on my one at school, on my PC, there's a snippet tool. If you go to the computer dashboard and you just go to the computer, like the startup area, you'll find a snippet tool. And you can do it with that, and then you paste it. So all I did with that was I put the title, and then I copy and pasted that QR code. And I can scan these. I put those right into the book, just like I showed you here. So when the kids come to the library, instead of me going, oh, Susie, you should read this, I do that too. But they get to look at the book trailer, or they get to read the review. So I love technology too. I love Apple. I wish to goodness our school used it, but they do not. So, and sometimes I do. I will put these up on my smart board and we'll watch them all together and talk about them and get excited. So later on, I'd like to show you guys how my kids ended up learning how to make all of these book trailers all by themselves. So, and it was so easy. It was awesome, and they love it, and they did such a good job with it. So that has probably been the most powerful thing. Control C, copy, Control V, paste. Yeah, I'm not one of those control people, but yeah, I think that'll work. So watch the replay, people. Write that down. I'm going to write it down, but I have all of these weird ways of doing things on my computer, but hoping to get 3 Max and a smart board in May. Well, God bless if you do. That's awesome. I have one iPad. That's it. That's all I have. So, but I do a lot of this on I let the kids use my own Mac that I have from home, and I have a PC desktop, and then I snarled up a silly little old laptop, but it works. It works. They use it. But we have these things called Learn Pads too. We won't get into that. They're kind of a mess, but if you have them and you like them, I'm glad, because we're having a mess with them. But I always want to give you this tip to take. So my tip to take today is go to linktoteach.com, and you may have 50 book titles with their QR codes ready to roll. Take to class tomorrow. View them yourself tonight. Download a QR reader, snap. I even have put on my website how to do that. Where to find them, go where, sorry, linktoteach.com. I like to put everything in one place so that's all nice and neat and people don't have to go, well, I get this here and I get that there. Everything's on my blog, linktoteach.com. You can see my name up here. You can see my name back there. But yeah, I'm kind of obsessed with that because I really think that linking to teach has got to be the best thing I've learned over the last 26 years was that if we don't, and it's a 2, not a T-O, if we don't look at each other and what each gift our teachers have to offer one another and use that I mean, we're reinventing the wheel every day. Why? Go around your building, talk to people who've been there a while. Everybody has talent. Everybody has something to offer. Please open up and listen to those people. Some of these younger teachers don't think that's important. It is so important. And being a Title I teacher, I have learned that I learn more from my colleagues than I have from any book. So go for it. Your partners don't even look at each other. Oh, honey, I just got an email from my principal. We're trying to do a PD. I could totally get into that. I was yelling and screaming. My husband's like, are you going to be okay? I'm like, I'm so trying. Why do teachers have to be so negative? This is why I've entered the internet world, and my world of TPT and my world of Sheila Jean teaching has been my savior. And all these people like Ashley and all these people I've connected with have inspired me to just keep moving, because you know what? I love it and you love it, and we should all completely share this love together. Don't let everybody bring you down. That's my little speech. I'm trying. I was so upset before this started, but you know what? I'm not going to let it bring me down. I always forge forward, and you guys need to too. And Miss Idealistic, she does rock. And so find your marigolds. I don't know what that means, but it sounds lovely. Petunias, tulips, whatever. So I think I've said everything I wanted to say. In the next scope, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you, okay, great, you got a book for them, but here's the key. How many times do you take your kids to the library, or you notice that they turn that book back in and they've never even opened it? They've never cracked the seal. Okay, that isn't what we want. So yes, we want to get hands in their books, but the next step is, how do we keep that book something they want to dive into every night, okay? And I've found some keys for that too. And I'm telling you, if I can hit these struggling readers, and I found things that can help them. If you don't have struggling readers, help you grow like in gardening. Walnut trees hinder growth. Perfect. Awesome. Marigolds are tough too, right? You can't really hurt a marigold. My mom used to plant them where we played because we couldn't hurt them. So yeah, love marigolds, Ash. Good job. So I'll tell you what, guys, I will join you next Thursday, 6 p.m. I'll work hard to find and show you ways and put them up on my blog for free where you can find ways to keep the kids reading, keep them interested, because that's key. Yeah, put a book in their hand, but if they don't read it, there's no sense in putting it in their hand. Okay? So love your kids. Put up with your colleagues. Smile. And have a great week. And I'll see you next Thursday, 6 p.m. Jenny at Link to Teach. You can find me on social media everywhere at Link to Teach. So, love y'all. Have a great night.